stickers on it, so I finally have something to do with them.
There you go. Be like one of those cool kids.
Yeah, sticking stickers all over your stuff.
I'm gonna cover the Apple logo so I can be in movies with it.
Oh, is that what you're doing? That's what you're waiting for? Speaking of being in movies, comes naturally. We are
Joe,
Mike.
I am Cody. Welcome to this week's episode, everybody. Did you make that, Mike, or was it an air ball?
I did not make it.
Air bottle, sorry.
Game close.
Yeah? You done fucked up now.
Just like my wedding night.
Yikes. I mean, I wouldn't know, but send the video over and I will make my judgments.
It's in the video.
do you even have a VHS player?
Come on. I have elderly parents. Of course I do.
That's true, right?
Gross.
Well, do you have a DV tape to VHS player
Oh, damn.
adapter?
Because
Because he probably filmed it with DV tape.
Yeah, he probably did. He's like, yeah. I'll just have to hook the camcorder up to the TV directly.
There you go.
That's the best way to do it. You still got that red, yellow, and white one on the back of your TV?
Well, all I need is the yellow and the white one because, that shit can come stereo.
I mean, I fucking surround sound, so you might want to... with just a camcorder, I just had to run around the room making noises. So I was like, ah.
I don't think that's how it actually works, but...
I'm not sure either, but like in my mind, I was like, amateur filmmaker. I'm the next J.J. Abrams.
This is how Spielberg did it.
This is how Spielberg made Jaws. I'm pretty sure he just ran around in circles.
That's why that shark never fucking worked.
It was weird. I've watched more documentaries about the making of Jaws than I've seen Jaws. Like, I've seen Jaws all the way through, like, 4 times. But I've seen, like, multiple featurettes, and I watched, like, a 2-hour documentary on it, like, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And then, like, some other ones and some, like, weird, like, stupid ones that were just real bad and had, like, nobody that was attached to the movie talking to them. But I've seen more footage about the making of Jaws than I've seen Jaws.
Oh, Taj is a weird liar, huh?
What did you do to him?
Wasn't me that did it to him.
Text?
Wasn't me that texted him.
Who did it to him?
What?
It wasn't me that texted him.
Did Paige text him?
Yep.
Oh no! What she text him?
I mean, apparently he doesn't want to share.
Oh, all right, whatever.
Yeah, what a dick.
That's cool. I'm glad Paige fucking attached herself to Taj as her best friend in the group. Whatever.
She doesn't have
Did that
your guys'
happen over
photo
lunch?
yet. Actually, it was funny because when we went to lunch, they were busy in there. There's only 2 tables that were available. Were two top tables. So Mike and Taj sat at one, and Paige and I sat in the other.
Oh.
And then like Mike talked over my shoulder, and then Taj was on the phone for like 35 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But
Apparently talking to somebody really smart.
Yeah, very smart.
Oh, is he already moving on?
I mean, who knows?
He has a thirst for knowledge. I've always said that.
Yep, thirst for knowledge. Knowledgeable things.
Big, round, bouncy, knowledgeable things. Am I laying it on too thick? Big titty. Oh,
sorry.
Joe was right there. He almost had it. He's like,
Now
wait.
it's getting a little too sweet and thick.
Oh, okay. I'll pull it back a notch.
Gross. Hey Joe, did you watch Project Power?
I have not. I spent my time watching other stuff.
All right. I know you watched Lovecraft Country.
Yep, that was one of the things I watched. Did you guys both watch the Power? That one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Project Power.
go ahead and talk about it. It's not going to spoil anything. I vaguely know the idea behind it.
Can't really. There's not a lot to spoil.
Yeah,
it's not one of those movies.
It's not one of those like, oh my God.
I'm pretty sure everything I've seen in the trailers is pretty much everything I need to know about the movie. It's just going to be all the main hits and whatnot.
Yeah.
Watch. Did you guys like it?
Michael?
I did. I was looking at. I always forget you guys can't tell who I'm looking at. I was just staring at Cody. Like,
right now,
you
just
answer?
like what's funny on my screen, it looks like you're looking at the little picture of me in the bottom.
Well, it looks like you're looking at the little picture of me as well. Yeah.
It's like could be in a creep. Jesus.
I just creep out of something like that.
And for people listening who haven't watched Lovecraft Country yet, it's actually the first episode's available to watch on YouTube for free in its entirety. So if you don't have access to some form of HBO, YouTube has you covered, as long as you have access to YouTube. If you don't, then, well, sorry.
They did that with something else too, didn't they?
They did the first episode of Watchmen. They also did it with the first episode of His Dark Materials. I think they did something else that way too.
Yeah, there was one more newer one that I'm thinking of. I didn't know the first two. That's cool though.
Yeah, it's a cool little thing. Like, like a good drug dealer to give them a little taste and get them hooked.
Right. Make it available on YouTube because they're searching for trailers anyway. And here's the full first episode.
Yep, and it's well worth it.
And it's not an ad.
It's not
a whole episode ad.
Yeah, an hour, 8-minute long ad.
Yeah. Fuck you, YouTube. I don't want to do that.
Well, it's funny because
if I watch one of those, you should not give me another ad for like a whole month.
Yeah, true. Well, it's funny because I went on YouTube this morning to find the Right Stuff trailer, and I saw something else. I clicked on it, and the Right Stuff trailer was the ad for what the video I was watching was. So I watched the trailer as the ad, and then I watched the video I was trying to watch. And I was like, I don't have to find it. But then I had to find it to send it to you guys. So I was like, well, that didn't work out as well as I wanted it to. Anyhow, Mike, Project Power.
Yeah. Super dope. It's really fun. One thing that I noticed is like Machine Gun Kelly's in too many things now all of a sudden. I don't know if I'm a big fan of that. I don't dislike him. He's doing a fine job, but it's just distracting. Every time I see Machine Gun Kelly pop up in a movie now, I'm like, is that Machine Gun Kelly?
Well, actually, in this one, isn't he credited as Solomon, whatever his name is?
Grundy?
No, it's like, well, I mean, maybe. Could be. He's a little too tiny to be Solomon Grundy, but,
Hey.
I'm not going to hold him back to anybody.
I don't know. I just know it was Machine Gun Kelly, but it was just weird. I was like, oh, okay, he's in this too. All right, because he was like, he randomly popped up in that
oh, sorry,
King of Staten Island?
Coulson Baker is his
That's
name.
his real name?
Yeah.
Oh, good thing he changed it. Machine Gun Baker. No, it was really fun. It was the story was slightly different than the story I thought they were gonna go with.
Yeah.
Just different enough where it's like, oh, that's like a unique, fresh look on things. It wasn't so, formulative that I thought it would be. But I've said this before, but when Jamie Foxx likes something and he's got some good stuff to work with and he really fucking sinks his teeth into it, he really is one of the best. It's just weird that he'll probably follow this up with something really bad. but he's so good in it, and not like a nice guy either, man. It starts off, you're like, is he the bad guy? Like you're not really sure what's going on till like pretty well into the movie.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool. And just the idea of that. So the whole premise is there's these pills that are being distributed throughout, everywhere, and you take the pill and it's 5 minutes and you get a power. Everybody has a power and powers are different. So it could be like the Human Torch, You could go invisible, which, by the way, there's a scene where an invisible guy robbed a bank and went running, and the way they did it was so fucking amazing that I don't know if it's been done before. Like, I can't, like, the way it was is like you would see like reflections of stuff in him as he was going. So it wasn't like he was just, you know, like the Invisible Man, he's just completely see-through. It's like he would kind of mirror what's around him. So on a, like, as he's running, you're getting like streaks of like the buildings behind him, but it's like kind of, there's a little lag to it. And
so the invisibility is more of skin deep. It's more of like a projection of what's on one side to the other side.
Yeah, okay. Kind of. But it's just cool because it takes a sec. It was like a chameleon, you know, like as they'll change colors and blend in with the back, and like there's a little bit of like if they change the, you know, what their background is, they don't instantly, like there's a little bit of that, like it takes a second, which I thought was a neat thing, and it made it interesting. Because it's way more fun to see that running away from somebody than it is to just see a bag floating in the air, you know, running away.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty cool. But so yeah, everybody's got a power. But one of the other things is some people don't get a power. Some people just die because their body can't control it. So like some people just blow up, or if you take too many of them,
UOD.
You OD. Like on any drug, and you fucking die in a horrific way.
Yeah.
A real horrific way. And so you don't know what your power is until you do it. So it's a rough, like you don't know if it's going to work or not.
It's a gamble whether you're actually going to die or whether you're going to get a power, and then when you do get a power, what power are you going to get?
Exactly.
And will that power kill you?
Yeah. And then
I imagine that lighting on fire is pretty much going to kill you.
It didn't do so well for a young gentleman in this movie for sure.
Yeah,
right.
Which is funny because you could tell he'd done it before, and he was like all fucked up from it. Like he wasn't dead. You could tell like his body and his skin didn't really handle it well when he did do it. So it's cool to think like there's like side effects, you know, going forward. Like you're not just like 100% back to normal once the pill clocks off. And so with it was cool because of that 5 minutes and because of the fact that you don't know what the power is going to be or exactly what you're working with. It created cool limitations for the movie to work with. Mm-hmm. So instead of like, this guy's just a superhero and he's a superhero the whole movie, it's like you have to time it. You know what I mean? Like if you take that shit too early, you're fucked. If you take it too late, you could get shot, you know, especially towards the end when they're like running around trying to like finish the last act of the movie. So like the cool, and it like you could feel it as like towards the end you're like okay, what's the time? Oh, somebody did this. Oh, he's still alive. Okay, so it's still working, you know. And then like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character sets his watch to it as soon as he takes it. And so they'll keep flashing back at the watch as you're going back, and you're like, holy fuck, he's only got 38 seconds left. Like what's gonna happen? So it was a cool way to build up like an interesting like situation where you're kind of stressed out and you're locked into a time frame, and it created a lot of cool scenes in it. And one of the scenes is they like the drug dealers are like doing a display, like a presentation of like what it could do so they can sell like a huge shipment to somebody. Mm-hmm. And so they want to see it in action first, of course. So they put this person in like a I'm guessing bulletproof glass kind of like round cage where you could see everything that's going on around it.
Imagine the thing they made in Avengers for Hulk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Imagine that.
So there's a scene, and then like of course the good guys kind of crash that, and so the whole fight, or most of the fight scene, like the meat of the fight scene in that area, is actually filmed from the person inside the cell thing, or like right behind it. And so you don't get a clear look at the fight scene, and it's a circular thing. It's like 360, so it's just falling around from inside. Mm-hmm. And you would think, like, I'm doing a bad job explaining it because you think like, oh, you're just getting a disruptive view of a fight scene. Like that's not fun. But the way they do it is because you'll get glimpses of super clear action, and then you kind of lose it, and then you don't know what's going on. It feels chaotic and it feels really like intense. And it was such a fun scene. It's one of the most unique action sequences I've ever seen in a movie. But yeah, with everything, like it's just a really fun movie. Like the story is good enough. It's nothing, crazy special. The visuals are fucking amazing. And then when you get down to it and you get Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt together towards the end, like their on-screen chemistry is really fucking good. And I really hope Netflix either A, makes another one of these movies because I'd be really into that, or B, puts those two in something else together because they played off of each other so well. But yeah, Cody, what'd you think?
I dug it a lot. I liked it because it wasn't just some mystery liquid that gives you powers, like, hey, take the blue one if you want to shoot ice from your fingers or whatever, right? But they had a science behind it, and it added to the actual story. It wasn't just like, hey, we'll make up some pseudoscience, and that's what we're going to pass as how we get these abilities. So that was cool. I actually like that a lot. Like Mike was saying, they did some really crazy things. So the guys who directed this are the guys who did Paranormal Activity 3, 4, that movie Nerve, and they did the documentary Catfish.
Shit.
I've heard of 3 of those 4.
So Nerve was that one where it's like this weird like reality show that's on the internet that everyone keeps like doing, and it's like you have to like keep upping yourself, like dodging a train, or like blind, like having someone give you directions while blindfolded riding a motorcycle, whatever, right? But that's the movie they did, and it's like kind of like crazy, whatever. But that's those guys, Ariel Schulman and Henry Jost. Very young filmmakers, only been doing it for a few years now. But it was fantastic. It was shot gorgeous, and the scene Mike's talking about is actually a pretty cool thing because it's focusing on one thing while there's a bunch of action happening around, and like he was saying, the camera's not focusing on the action through the glass. It's focusing on the person inside the cell. And so it's the action's happening regardless of the point of view of the camera, and it's just spilling into view as it goes through. And then you're unfortunately watching a horrific death happen right in front of you. But whatever. But yeah, it's cool because the like Mike was saying, the time limit. But then there's even more of a step where like it's that gamble of what you're gonna get, right? But also, like, whatever you get, can it be useful in whatever you're doing? And so, like, the first time you see a transformation is, spoiler alert, and actually you can watch this online if you want, is the Machine Gun Kelly Jamie Foxx fight.
Yeah, they tweeted it out. They put the whole fucking fight scene on.
It's like a whole 6-minute thing. But the effects they used is cool. And then I just discovered a new YouTube channel by Netflix called Netflix Film School or something like that, where they basically do a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff, like stuff you'd normally see on like Blu-rays and DVDs and stuff like that, or iTunes extras nowadays. So they have a bunch of that, and they have a bunch of them for Project Power. And they showed how they actually filmed someone on fire, and because they actually filmed someone on fire. But then they also put prosthetics on Machine Gun Kelly, or Coulson Baker, and then they put LED lights strips underneath the prosthetics, so they could change the lighting and give you lighting of fire effects.
Interesting. On
him, so they could shoot him and then add in the digital flames, and they did it really, really well. And they even talked about it, how they fudged with physics of fire a little bit to give it a kind of a cool look to it. Like when he powers up, like the second time, he lands and when he goes, he made it sound like basically it's like a blowtorch where it like flares up into a cone. His whole the whole essence like does that. He like you see him grip and like flex his fists, and all of a sudden the flames rip up like that. It's pretty cool. But But yeah, I mean, other things like that was pretty cool. The story, like Mike said, it wasn't anything special, but it also was pretty cool the way they did it. And it wasn't the story you think from the trailer. I mean, it is and it isn't. Like, they tell you a lot of it, but then there's a little bit of a twist of who the characters are in the movie, which is pretty cool. But otherwise, it's pretty much what you're gonna guess it is. But it's just really fun, and I do hope they make another few of these because at least this one lends itself really well to being able to do more things, because there's a wider world out there than just what they show in this movie, and they tell you that. So you're not like they're not going to try to scramble to do something else with it, but it's pretty cool. But yeah,
that's good.
So I give it.
Get around to watching it.
I give it these.
What?
I give it these.
Oh, 2 thumbs.
2 thumbs up. Wiggly
Gotcha.
thumbs up. 2 wiggly thumbs up. Joe, do you want to talk a little bit about Lovecraft Country?
Guess we could. Mike, did you end up watching it?
Nope.
Okay, so it was just me and Cody, and I think Taj ended up watching it.
Yeah, which isn't going to help because he's not here. But anyways, yeah.
Honestly, the first episode was really slow. I know that they were doing a lot of character building in it.
Yeah.
It takes place in the 1940s. Correct me if I'm wrong. 1950s.
When's the Korean War?
Was it Korean War?
Well, he was a Korean War vet. Atticus was?
1950s, I think, then. 1950s, 1960s.
Okay, somewhere on there, yeah.
I can't remember now. So it started a lot earlier than really I had anticipated. I obviously had watched some of the trailers, but obviously not close enough if they had showed that it was taking place so long ago. So you're really dealing with a lot of racism in this show. I would say much like you dealt with in Watchmen, or that they dealt with in Watchmen.
Yeah.
Just a lot earlier time period. So that was a little bit weird. And like I said, it was a little slow at the beginning. I know you're setting up a lot of characters and exactly what's going on. Well, not exactly what's going on. I have no goddamn clue what's going on at all. You're just following Atticus as he gets home from, I guess, the Korean War.
Yeah, he's coming back from Florida.
From Florida, yeah, because his dad has gone missing. His estranged dad, his dad that, he, I guess, didn't really get along with very well, but suddenly gets this weird message that he's found what was it? It was something like his mom's side of the family has some sort of weird history going on.
And there's some birthright.
Some sort of birthright that works around it, and that he had found Arkham, something like that, Arkham County, Arkham Town.
So he thought it was because a lot of the books that he read
Lovecraft novels
come
from
Arkham Publishing. But he's in a fictional. Well, in reality, it's a fictional town, but in this world, it's a town of Ardham.
Ardham, yeah.
Same spelling, but with a D instead of a K.
Right. They make a note of that at one point as Atticus is reading the letter, and he says it's Arkham, and then his
uncle,
friend or uncle, that's who it was, says no, it's Ardham. He shows, he's like, see, it's a D, and he shows it under like one of those lighted magnifying glass things. But his uncle owns a black travel agency or travel agency that is supposed to show friendly places for blacks in the South.
Yeah.
Or northern South, I guess, is where they really are.
Well, then they're in Chicago.
Yeah, they're in Chicago, but they travel down to
they go south.
Those areas. And so it's just his, he's making another, these are friendly areas or stops that you can go through on your travels. So like I said, it's for the third time. It's a very slow moving show. You're setting up Atticus. You're setting up his uncle and his family, and then the other girl that ends up traveling along with them. I can't remember her name right now. And then you just see shit tons of uncomfortable racism from that point on. Honestly,
yeah.
Same thing with Watchmen, where I didn't even know about Juneteenth, or any of that stuff. learning about that, and then suddenly seeing what was known as sundown counties or sundown towns.
Yeah, it was
which
rough.
I didn't even know about as well. Learning about how real that shit is was kind of eye-opening. Not surprising, but eye-opening. But then in the last 15 minutes is where it really picks. Probably actually even 10 minutes is where it really picks up. Where Atticus and his uncle and
it takes
the
a
girl
left
that they were
fucking
with,
turn.
they get captured in a sundown county, and they're forced into a forest, and they're all laying down their stomachs. There's a group of sheriffs right there just accusing them of being thieves from the town, even though they were literally just passing through. You literally think, like, obviously you're not going to kill off the main characters right here, but what the fuck is going to happen? And then out of nowhere, these just like hellish beasts come out of nowhere and just start ripping through all the sheriffs and killing everybody. And it was just like, what the fuck? They survived through the day because that's apparently they figure out that these things are like, I call them more like mole rats because they came out of the ground and they were they didn't like light.
Yeah.
They compared them to vampires who didn't, just because they didn't like light. But they make it through the night, Atticus, his uncle, and the girl, and they just start running. And they end up on the porch of this fucking mansion. Ring the doorbell or knock on the door. Guy answers it and is just like, "Oh, we've been expecting you, Atticus. Welcome home." End of episode. You're like, what? What the fuck just happened?
Yeah, it's weird because they're setting, like Joe was saying, there's this weird, not what you think by watching the trailers with all these monsters floating around happening in the beginning of it.
Especially the way the beginning is.
The fever dream?
The fever dream, like, you don't even know it's a dream. That's just how they cold open the
it's fantastic
show.
Too.
In the middle of the war, which is black and white, but slowly going color, which then you suddenly see the War of the Worlds, literally, just the aliens from the War of the Worlds just start, like, killing things. And then this orangish, reddish girl just comes down from a...
Yeah, so you see these UFOs flying in. And
he's right there, and then just suddenly it ends, and you're like, wait, what?
Hold on, it doesn't just end. They get attacked by a Cthulhu-like creature, and then Jackie Robinson cuts it in half with his bat.
Which was epic.
Which was amazing. And then right as it's going, Jackie's like, well, we're good to go. You see the creature reform behind him, and then his dream wakes up, and he's in the back of a bus driving through cornfields. You're like, what the fuck just happened? And then an hour goes by with nothing but just some mystery stuff going on, and like this. The only thing that's weird is the car that makes the truck with the rednecks trying to kill him flip over without actually an impact. Right. And you're like, what the fuck? And this blonde girl gets out. You're like, the shit is happening here. And then you're like, all right, whatever. And then you're going, like Joe was saying, and like they're looking for this road that's supposed to be in this area that they can't find, and they find out they're in a sundown county. And so they have to they can't speed out because the sheriff who's there is going to, stop them if they try to speed. So they're trying to get out before sundown, and then bad shit happens, and they do make it, but then there's a posse waiting for them, and they get dragged into the woods where they're going to get lynched. They have ropes, and they have shotguns. They have all sorts of fun stuff. They're going to do what they do back then. And then, like Joe said, fucking just... crazy-ass monsters spring out of the fucking trees and start ripping people to shreds. And at one point, one of the coolest ones, the dude goes down the ravine, and you see the monster jump from behind him, land on him, completely engulf his head and his shoulders and his mouth, and these little fucking arms shoot out through his body and start fucking with his insides. Mm-hmm. And then cut right to them running again. I was like, we're not going to say anything? All these all these redneck cops are like, what the fuck is happening? Like, it's ridiculous. I was like, this is out of nowhere. Like, so weirdly out of nowhere. Like, yes, that opening scene, like, you see all the weird shit and the aliens from, the tripod aliens from War of the Worlds. You see the Cthulhu monster and the UFOs with the girl who's, I'm guessing, supposed to be the Princess of Mars because he's reading John Carter. Like, all these things, right? But you realize he wakes up and it's a dream, and you find out he reads all these fantasy books and stuff. You're like, oh, okay, whatever. And he starts trying to like make it sound like all these things are real when he's talking about his dad and all these stories that he had and all these things. And then this happens, and they're like, the craziest part about it is him and his uncle are completely calm about it, other than the fact that like the sheriff is now transforming into one of them because he got bit.
Right.
They're like, yeah, and they're like cool-headed, and I was like, motherfuckers, no. I would be in a corner pissing myself, if not dead already, because those things were terrifying. And there was a bunch of them. It wasn't one.
Yeah.
It was like if you took the Quiet Place and multiplied it by 10. Mm-hmm. There were so many of them, and they were jumping out of trees, digging out of the ground, running like a motherfucker, jumping. They were ripping through trees. I was like, this ain't good. This ain't good at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah. It was just a really cool like way to end it, but it also was like they did this thing of like subverting from the weird stuff in the first 49 minutes of the show. And the last like 10 or that group of 10 minutes is just bonkers, out of this world crazy, and then they're just walking down the road, down a covered bridge, and they come upon this mansion. And you're like, is this the road they were looking for? What is happening right now?
Right.
And if you watch the coming in the weeks ahead on Lovecraft Country, you're like, what is any of this? What is this ritual? And why is he wearing a robe? And who are these white people? And what is going on? Why is this statue moving? Like, I was like, I'm in, I guess. I don't know what else to think. And it was a good episode, but I was like, they did such a good job of like diverting you from thinking of what you're thinking it's going to be because of all this stuff. And like Joe's like, they're talking about the segregation of the time and all these things. And like, they're in like, and it's weird because like when they're in the diner and he's like, he moves the tile and realizes it's like a burnt out building. You know, it used to be a place that like was safe for colored people to go to. And they're like, run. And she comes booking it out of the back. And I was like, what is happening? And like then they're being chased through the town by these rednecks in a truck shooting at them in the middle of the town. Yeah. And I was like, the South
literally
ain't
a
safe.
gunfight in the middle of the town as they're speeding away.
Yeah. I was like, this ain't good at all.
No.
But yeah, no, it's pretty interesting, and I dug the first episode a lot. And I think it's going to be interesting.
I liked it a lot too.
Yeah. But yeah,
How many episodes are in the first season?
10.
10?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Oh, and the crazy thing, Joe, is I didn't know this at the time until later on. The girl who plays Letty or Latita, I believe her name is Latita Lewis, is her name is Cerny Smollett. It's the chick from that played Black Canary in Birds of Prey, the Harley Quinn Birds of Prey. I was like, I couldn't figure out who. I was like, she looks so familiar, but I don't know who this is. I looked it up. And I was like, that's who that is. Okay. But yeah, no, it was very interesting, and like they all these little like Easter eggs about like what you should have expected at the end of this episode, but I didn't because they did such a good job of completely going away from the supernatural stuff. But he's reading all these books, and there's like all these little things about like the fact that you obviously because you're thinking, oh, it's a lot of it is a dream stuff because of the dream in the beginning of the episode, and then like all these small towns and like all these little things, and like the fact that, like apparently H.P. Lovecraft was a huge racist.
Yes, he was.
And I was like, well, that actually makes sense because they're going down to Lovecraft country, and
I think he was a huge sexist as well.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah.
But yeah, it was very entertaining. I'm really ready for the more of it. I kind of wish I could binge it, but also kind of happy I can't.
So it's weekly? It's one of the weekly ones?
Yeah, it's because it's on HBO or HBO Max or however you want to eat it up from it. But yeah.
Well, I get it on Max, so Max.
Yeah.
But
it's based on a book that I may have to read after the fact.
Was this actually based on a book? I thought it was just based on kind of loosely based on all of his writings.
No, it's Matt Ruff is the guy who wrote a book called Lovecraft Country, and it was only released 4 years ago. It was released in 2016, and it's basically literally a 2016 dark fantasy horror novel by Matt Ruff exploring the conjunction between the horror fiction of H.P. Lovecraft and the racism in the United States during the era of Jim Crow laws as experienced by black science fiction fan Atticus Turner and his family. So I was like, well, there you go. I guess that's what it is. But yeah, just like HBO, somehow they find a way to shoot a television show that's based in the 1950s or whatever it is, and it looks gorgeous. And you're like, how did you shoot this in a modern world? Like, where did you go to find like that?
All these places, and vehicles and everything.
Yeah, because they're like driving Studebakers and Buicks and shit, and I was like, what the hell? Like, these motherfuckers. And same thing was like when I have either of you watched? Well, Mike probably hasn't because he doesn't watch stuff like this. Watch Perry Mason at all?
No, I hadn't.
Fantastic, by the way. It's amazing. It's a show, but it's set in the 1930s, and literally they're using like hand cranked cars, like Model Ts and shit.
Wow.
And like I was like, where? How? Where do you just get Model Ts? Like a lot of them, not like one, not like two, whole streets filled of them.
Right.
It's like can you build Model Ts now? Like you just build one? I'm like, yeah, here you go.
Yeah, man. They can't be hard to build.
I'm sure there's like some sort of Hollywood lot that just holds a ton of old cars.
He's called, hey, you guys have like 94 different Model Ts? Yeah, cool. How about a Model T style milk truck? Yeah, got one of those? Cool, let's go.
Yep.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I honestly wouldn't doubt it. It's probably big money down there.
Yeah. But no, it was extremely well done. And if you want to watch it, I highly recommend watching that too because it's really good. But I highly recommend watching Lovecraft Country. Check it on YouTube for free right now. And if you have a chance, Project Power on Netflix for sure because they're all entertaining.
I wanted to ask you guys, what were you hoping to see from DC FanDome?
Haven't watched anything from it.
Well, it's not until Saturday.
Started yet? Yeah.
Oh, hoping to see from it. All I know is that we're going to get a teaser for the new Justice League Snyder Cut.
Yep. A teaser of all new footage, apparently.
I don't know. I thought that shit was coming out like next month, and then Cody told me it's next year, and I'm mad.
Oh no, that's next year. Yeah.
They announced that when they announced it.
I misread something.
Yeah.
No, I think you were just like, I totally want this.
Yeah. I was just wishing it into existence. It didn't work.
I don't know what I would want to see from them. I guess a better idea of where they're going with everything, with their shows, with their movies and whatnot, because obviously their movies are in a little bit of a limbo with the whole, you don't have Ben Affleck coming back, but you kind of still have, well, I say not coming back, even though apparently he's going to be in the Flash movie, or something like that. But he's not necessarily coming back for any other Justice League stuff. If they decide to do that, even though you're getting an Aquaman 2 and supposedly another Wonder Woman, and obviously we're supposed to be getting the Flash sometime in the next couple of years. And then what they're doing with their TV shows, obviously I don't really watch their TV shows, but from what I've heard that they've done with them, with the crossover event and Crisis on Infinite Earths, was that the name of the crossover event?
Yeah, the newest one.
Or was it just Crisis?
It was Crisis, yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they announce for all of that stuff. Yeah. Are they going to be doing any comic book stuff there as well? Because didn't they just lay off? No, they laid off like a shit ton of...
the executive staff.
But was it from the comics or was it from...
It's from comics, yeah.
I thought they laid off a bunch of people in their animation studio or something.
Oh yeah,
like
no,
that
they laid off a ton of people through Warner. Just in general.
A ton of people, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see with all the restructuring going on, with all the different projects and re-projects that they have going on, to see what they'll announce that they're trying to do with everything.
Yeah, Mike, what are you hoping to see besides the fact you're not getting the Snyder Cut until sometime next year?
Yeah, that's on me. That was my bad.
You might get a date though. Well, that helps, any.
That'd be good.
That teaser might give you a date.
He just Netflix us, and he's like, it's available on Netflix now. You're like, what?
Well, it'll be on HBO Max right now.
It'd be on HBO Max now.
Yeah.
Well, because the stuff I've been reading is like, obviously it was reported like today or yesterday, whenever, that Batfleck's going to be in the Flash movie
With Michael Keaton.
Is that confirmed?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Keaton is confirmed. Yeah.
I need to start reading the articles you guys sent me.
Yeah, probably.
Holy shit, that's so exciting. Anyway, that's cool. I'm good now. I'm good. All I need to know, Batfleck and Keaton Batman are all together. No, that's cool. I'm hoping, because there was rumors reported a while back that Batfleck was like back for some more stuff, not the original, like movie run that everyone thought, but like he could be coming back for another Justice League, and he could be coming back for possibly a TV show.
Yeah.
And I guess some of the other rumors is maybe the TV show is going to be Robert Pattinson's TV show.
Yep.
So I just want to get clarity on that and kind of understand what the timelines are, and if that's the same Batman.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I just need to know. Like I just need to know so I can, separate what I need to separate. It's a weird thing that DC's doing, but it's super comic booky. I feel like they just have all their own titles. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna have, Batfleck being, more of that Mark Miller Dark Knight, and then, Pattinson being more of like Zero Year and Year One, and even the rumor of the Court of Owls coming in.
Yep.
At some point, and I'm like, well, that makes sense for Pattinson to have that run of like that younger Batman, still, first time facing all these people. So that'd be cool. I want to know. I want a definitive Henry Cavill. Anything, just like tell it. I want the layout. I want to know. You know how like the last Comic-Con, probably Marvel just put up the timeline of like the next like movies coming out.
Yeah.
And they're like, these movies are coming out. Like, I just want to know that. I don't care that they're going to be a couple years off, because I understand everything's all in limbo right now. But like, I just want to know, like, these things are coming out. I want to know, is Superman coming back? Are we going to have this cast for a Justice League 2, which seems more and more likely now that Batfleck's, confirmed to be in the Flash movie. And I was talking about this with Cody the other day. I want a Justice League 2 where they're a team the whole time. Like I really want that superhero team movie where the team is a fucking team. The entire movie would be really nice if we actually get one of those at some point in time. As long as we get that at some point, I'm gonna be happy. It'll be cool. But that's really it. I just want definitive wording on what's going on with Superman and Batman for sure. And also I feel like they're not dumb. I feel like there's a surprise that we don't know about. Obviously, I want to see The Rock in the costume. I want to see what it actually looks like. We've had some like shaded out figures, but I want to see the picture of him in suit.
Right.
Yeah.
Black Adam.
Yeah. And also I always forget, because it feels like Shazam, that movie.
Shazam.
There we go. I had a problem with S's when I was a kid and as an adult. I feel like that movie came out, and then the whole world kind of just like, first DC got super fucked, and then the whole world got super fucked, and then I think people forgot that movie was actually really good and fun. And
well, not only that, with that, I keep forgetting that it's a DC movie.
Yeah.
Everyone did.
Just totally forget that it's a part of it is actually supposed to be a part of this whole DC.
And that movie is where the Black Adam seeds were laid. Like we didn't see them, but we saw like a animated outline basically, and it was obvious it was The Rock, because like nobody's really built like him with a shaved bald head. You know what I mean? Like it's like clearly
Right.
that's Black Adam. That's gonna be the Rock's part. And I was really hoping the end credits in that one was gonna be the Rock, but obviously they're still working on some stuff because DC's very odd with everything right now. But yeah, I would like to get more of that and kind of just like I said, I just want clarity going forward, like what to expect, so we can get excited about certain things and like start trying to piece stuff together.
Yeah, definitely.
And a good TV show, man. Give me like I loved like the first handful of seasons I watched of Arrow and the first couple seasons of Flash. But like now that HBO Max seems to really be like we're gonna be your home for DC stuff, like HBO just like let like someone at HBO Max, like that's where I want all the DC TV shows to go now. Like just put them on there and do the Netflix thing. Let people make the show they want to make and then just put it up there, you know?
And I totally agree with that because I've been watching Doom Patrol and I absolutely love that show.
Yeah, I've heard amazing things about it. And
if you haven't watched it, go fucking watch it. It is so goddamn good.
And I also read that they're bringing back Swamp Thing, and apparently Swamp Thing was like a really fun show too.
Yeah,
Well,
I totally forgot that they.
I didn't think they're bringing it
after
back,
like 5 episodes.
but I know they're moving all the DC Universe original content over to HBO Max.
Right,
So I know they're
getting rid of
moving.
DCO. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it might have just been that actual season.
It'd be cool if they do. I mean, I heard a lot of good things about it, but I never watched it because I was never going to subscribe to DC Universe because it just seemed like they were circling
Absolutely
the drain.
not. Yeah.
And clearly they were because now it's all on HBO Max, which is a much better place because you have that's more content and other stuff. You know what I mean? It's kind of the. It seems kind of be like the world like Disney Plus kind of made that like the go-to for streaming services where it's like this big umbrella of stuff, you know, like we have Marvel, we have Star Wars, we have Disney, we have Pixar, we have National Geographic, which is a weird thing to throw in there, but they have it. It had to go somewhere, but it was just weird to be in there. But then like you have Peacock that has like all their different little things. They have stuff from Comedy Central, also HBO Max has stuff from Comedy Central on there, which is also strange. They have NBC stuff, and like, it's just I don't know, it's weird. But we are getting a Suicide Squad trailer. So that's cool.
Is it weird that I'm more worried about that movie than anything else?
I mean,
I'm not worried about it because I'm not really thinking about it.
Well, just in terms of like when you tell me like we're gonna have a Flash movie, we're gonna have this, that, and this, like the Suicide Squad thing, I'm like, I don't know, man. I have a bad feeling that it's gonna be weird.
Well, it's James Gunn, so
yeah, but like not necessarily a good weird.
Not necessarily a good James Gunn came in and made it better type of weird.
Yeah.
We know we had the first one that kind of worked. There's going to be another one. It's not really the first one.
And is it still
one.
Confirmed or didn't like reported about? Is it an actual like? I know it's Suicide Squad 2, right?
Essentially, yes, but it's just called Suicide Squad.
But is it a sequel? Is it the same universe? Is it that like there's a lot of weirdness up in the air?
Is it a soft reboot of it? Is it like
it's a sequel because it brings back returning characters like Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn.
Yeah, but like X-Men did that too, and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
what I'm saying is though he's not recasting any people. So there's there's new cast members. They're not coming in as other. Okay. They're not replacing people. You know what I mean? They're not. There's not. And there might not be a Rick Flag. I don't know how that works. Or not Rick Flag. Deadshot. Like we already know. Like I just always not Deadshot, but like Rick Flag's back, I guess. And then like I know Harley Quinn's back and Boomerang's back and things like that. So they'll have returning ones, but then they'll have apparently a shit ton more people because like this cast is all over the fucking place. I mean, you have John Cena.
Yeah.
You have Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Those are all the only two you need for a huge action movie. Huge summer blockbuster action movie.
That seems
Pete
proven.
Davidson and John Cena.
Pete Davidson?
Yeah.
And John Cena, he said. Those two. Not one of those two. Those two.
You want your future buddy cop movie. That's your cast right there.
That's your
I don't know, man. It's going to be weird. But it would be cool to finally get a trailer to get to maybe grasp what the tone of that movie is going to be. Because
Yeah,
I feel like it's going to be a live action cartoon. Is like the vibe I'm getting from it.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people in this fucking movie, it's ridiculous. Just looking at this, like, confirmed people we have in it, as we know of who they are. Margot Robbie is returning as Harley Quinn, and Harleen Quinzel. Viola Davis is returning as Amanda Waller. Joel Kinnaman is returning as Rick Flag. Jay Courtney is returning as Captain Boomerang. I'm gonna butcher this kid's last name because I can never say it, but David Dasmakchinian. I don't know how to say his name, but anyways, he was the Russian guy in Ant-Man. Remember the friends? There was T.I. and then there was the Russian guy.
Oh, okay, yeah,
it's him.
Yeah.
He's gonna play Polka Dot Man. You have Steve Agee as King Shark, so they're gonna have King Shark on screen. That's fucking nuts too. But you have Idris Elba, John Cena, Storm Reed, Nathan Fillion, Peter Capaldi, Pete Davidson, Alice Braga, Sean Gunn, Michael Rooker, Tata Waititi. You have Diego Bato. I mean, the cast is insane. Like, actually, this says that they're replacing Will Smith's character Deadshot with somebody else.
Yeah, see, that's...
Oh, no, okay.
There kept being different reports.
Nope, says right here. Originally, it was said that Elba was replacing him, but then James Gunn has come out and said he's not. He's a different character. He's a new character. Okay, so yeah. So that gives Smith an opportunity to return. I was like, this doesn't make sense. I heard that before, but that's what it's saying is like there's no mention of him coming back, but they're not replacing him. Because that's when everyone thought is like, oh, just get another random black actor to replace him. But that's not what they're doing. But I mean, yeah, that's cat and all those last set of people, we don't know who they're playing. Like,
I
we
feel
just
like
know
a lot of them
confirmed
are
ones.
gonna die instantly.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of
Right.
like unknowns in here.
It's gonna be like Deadpool's crew, where
The X Force.
yeah, we get them all together and then they all die.
But Brad Pitt might have lived.
Maybe.
They were carting him
I'm
off.
pretty sure he didn't.
Fair enough.
Just remember watching that. I was like, was that Brad Pitt?
Turns out it was. All right. Anyhow, yeah. So we'll have our first actual footage of the Batman, Robert Pattinson's Batman or Pattinson. We'll have a new trailer for Wonder Woman 1988 or 1984. 1984. 84. We'll have something. The Rock's already confirmed they're doing something to show Black Adam. We just don't know what it is yet, other than him being there. A lot of stuff with the TV show, talking about Flash, talking about Batwoman. Arrow's done with, so they're not talking about it anymore. What else did I see they're talking about too? I can't remember the other one. There's a couple other ones they confirmed in the. Oh, Flash was the big one. Obviously, they're going to probably talk more about what's going to happen. Because originally it was reported that Michael Keaton is coming back as Batman from Batman and Batman Returns. But now with Batfleck coming back, if they're doing the Flashpoint storyline, that might mean he's playing Thomas Wayne.
Yeah,
Which would be cool.
Yeah, so that would
which would be the
interesting.
Batman that shoots people, which is a cool Batman.
And and Martha is alive as the Joker, so that's pretty crazy too.
Which that was always just a little tease kind of thing, and so that would be kind of cool if they eventually dived into that a little bit more. But then I don't think they will, because that shit'll set all the movie going fans, they'll be so confused and pissed off about it.
They're gonna spiral the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch that that Joker documentary that's free right now on iTunes?
Mm-mm.
No,
Or
I haven't.
free on every streaming service? It's just got a bunch of people talking about the Clown Prince of Crime throughout media history. Even from back in the day, or not media history, but it was on-screen history. So it's pretty cool. They actually have a lot of people on it too, including I think there's an interview with not Heath Ledger, with Jared Leto. in there. So that's pretty interesting. But there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And if you don't know the DC FanDome stuff, which is really dumb name, whatever, it's only up for 24 hours, and it's only on the website. I'm sure DC will load up the trailers to watch on YouTube eventually, but if you want to watch the panels and the discussions, because they're doing video chats with everybody that have already been filmed so they can edit them together, that will be only available, as of right now, what they're saying is for 24 hours only, starting Saturday through Sunday. So be prepared to try to watch that when you have a chance. And if you go to the website now, you can sign up for an alert to when it starts up, and then if you like, comingsoon.net has a list of all the stuff, so I'm guessing it's probably on the website as well, because there's a lot of stuff on here. Batwoman panel, DC Stargirl panel, Young Justice panel, Titans panel, Lucifer panel, Ask Harley Quinn, whatever the fuck that means, Watchmen Unmasked, whatever, about a bunch of shit in there. It's like a miniature Comic-Con, but just for DC stuff, but looks to be just their media, their live action and cartoon stuff, movies and TV shows. But yeah, that's it. That's all I have. Cool. I don't know, but you know, but yeah, that's. I think that's it. Head nods from everybody.
Mm-hmm. I'd say so.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Comes Naturally. We are
Joe,
Mike.
I am Cody, and as usual, you fuckers just came naturally.